for different songs. So as you can see, we have Holy Ground scheduled for this week in B flat. But when we look at the resources that we only have these resources in the keys of E flat. So how do you go about shifting that to make sure that it's in the correct and the proper keys? So we're going to go about looking at that today. So this is usually going to be something that the music directors are going to be doing. So when they're doing that, this is why we go out to our Third Wave LA worship tab. Let me see, we'll shrink these things. And this is where you're going to go into the stems. Now this is going to be for our directors. So when you go right ahead and look at the stems, see Holy Ground stems in E flat. So you see them here. You can go right ahead and look at all of these stems in E flat. We're going to download the stems folder. So you can go right ahead and download that, and we'll drop that in downloads. And let's see here. So that's going to download. Let's see how long that's going to take. Okay, only about 15 seconds. Awesome. So we're getting that ready. So while that's downloading, what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to service plans. Now we do have these resources in E flat, but what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change that to B flat. So we're going to get rid of these Q tracks and this thing and these keys. We're going to delete those because we don't want the ones in E flat. We're going to want ones in B flat. So let me go right ahead and delete those things. And so now we just are down to music charts and lyrics. Now these ones, lyrics we can keep, but we're going to delete that chord chart because that's in the wrong key as well. So while that was downloading, we'll go right ahead and download the right key. So B flat. Great thing about Planning Center is when you put the new key in, it already generates everything that is needed. So we can go chord chart, B flat. All right, so we're downloading that. And then just so that we have it, we'll go right ahead and we'll download the lyrics one more time. I think we already had the lyrics, but we'll download them again. Replace. I'll go back over here. Delete. And then we'll go right ahead and we'll upload those files we just downloaded. So we have lyrics. Looks like that's the third time we've downloaded the lyrics. Awesome. So let's just go right ahead and rename that. Get rid of that 3. Awesome. And so now we have Holy Ground. We have it in the correct key in B flat, starting on the E flat. So we have all of these things correct. Awesome. So, but now, oh, look, so it looks we have to change that name too. Let's go right ahead and change this name here. B flat, N flat, B flat. Awesome. Now hopefully by now, so music charts and lyrics, they're good to go. So we don't have any tracks though, so we're gonna have to create those. All right, so hopefully this should be downloaded by now. Yep, go right ahead, open that, expanding. Awesome. And so now I'm going to jump over into Ableton Live. Now you could do this with any program, but we're going to use Ableton for today. And under Ableton, we're going to go under Downloads, and we're going to find that file. So that was Holy Ground. Here we go. Holy Ground stems. And so before we drag these in, we're going to go right ahead and just look at these. It says 72 E flat. So I'm going to go in here, and before I begin to drag them in, I'm going to just go right ahead and mark the tempo of the session to 72. And then I know this song is in 4/4 and whatnot. So we'll go right ahead. Okay, now that we have it, and I'll go right ahead and I can drag these in. I could do one at a time. Like so. But as you can see, that kind of takes a long time. So what I like to do is I'll select all of them. And then we'll drag all of them in. Now, if you drag them like this, it's just going to drag them in linearly and create one really long track. But if you hold down the Command key, it'll drop everything in as individual tracks. And that's what we want to do. So there you go. And then so what we're going to do is we're going to go right ahead and we're going to make this a little bit wider so we could see the names. And let's select all of these and let's shrink them a little bit. So as you can see, they're all named Holy Ground, yada, yada, yada. So what we're going to do is we're going to just rename all of them quickly just by their instrument names. Acoustic. Let's see here. Altos. Bass. Bells. BGBs. Click. Cues. Drums. And if you're wondering where I'm getting this, I'm just looking over here, reading over here. So you have electric guitar. It says guitar distortion. I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to say guitar 2, and then we'll just call this guitar 1. And then this is pad, piano, shaker. Oops, they're in alt caps. Ah, okay, let me go back here. Shaker, sopranos, tambourine, and tenors. Awesome. So we have all of these tracks named. We have the tempo synced. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go right ahead and we're going to get ready to bounce them. But let's put them in proper order before we transpose. So let's put the click and the cues on top. You always go click, cues, drums, and then percussion elements. So that would be the tambourine. Let's see here, shaker. Any kind of percussion? No, we don't have no percussion. So then after that follows the bass. Then from the bass you have guitars. So you have acoustic guitar, you have electric guitar 1, electric guitar 2. From guitars you go down to piano. This is just putting it in score order. From piano you have pad or bells. These sometimes go in different order. Sometimes people will put the pad first, I'm not sure. So and then from there you go down with your BGB track, and then you have your sopranos, altos, and tenors. So now that this is all in proper order, I'm going to go right ahead. Before I do anything, I'm just going to save this set. And what we'll do is we'll save it under Ableton Sessions. We'll call this Holy Ground. 72 BPM. And let's see here, we'll call this in B flat because we're doing a B flat session. Awesome. So now we're almost ready to bounce. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do though is we're going to select all of these tracks, and then we're going to want to zoom in really quickly, because what happens, for those of you guys who are not too familiar with MP3s, it always adds a little bit of latency. So if you listen to it, if I played it.
2, 3, chorus.
Show us your glory. Show us your glory. See how the click is a little bit off? See how it's not completely on? So we're going to want to make sure that we fix that before we do any edits. This is really quickly something that we've always noticed with these MP3 files. So you're going to want to zoom in, and I notice the closer you zoom in, the more you can see that it's not actually on the grid. It's just a little bit off. But as you can see, it's not too much, and we've kind of found it right there. It's just that little piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that, and then we're going to go to delete time. Now what this is going to do, if I just press delete, it's just going to delete for that section. But what we want to do is trim this little section out of every song. So we'll go right here and we'll select delete time, or shift command delete. Now that just deleted it for everything. And so now, as you can see, if I go here, see how it's right on the click? I'll go right ahead and I'll undo so you can hear what that sounds like. See, this is before, after, before, See how it's a little off after. And so now, as I zoom out, when I play with that rhythm,
chorus, 2, 1, 2, 3, chorus.
Show us your glory, show us your glory, in wonder and surrender we.
so sounds great, but it is in the key of B flat. So now you're probably saying, okay, Matthew, so you brought me all this way over here. How do I transpose it? So what I like to do is just open these up just a little bit, just so I can make sure what I'm selecting. So we'll go right ahead and open these up just a little bit. And you see, notice how I selected all of everything from the bass downwards. So I selected all of these, and because these are going to be the instruments that we are pitch shifting. So from B flat, let's see if I have a handy dandy little keyboard. I don't have one. Let's see here. We'll go right ahead, a little MIDI track, just so you guys can see this really quickly. Alrighty here. I think I have a little. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Ridiculous. It's perfect. Just what I needed for it. All right. Oops. Okay, maybe can't use that one. All right. Well, let's try another one. Let's see here. Let's find a little. I just need a piano so that you can see what it is I'm talking about. Let's see here. I think this should work. Contact. Okay. Good. Okay. So you can't really see it that well, but if you see these keys, this is an E flat right here. So let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Let's see here. I think I have this app. The ridiculous one would be better for this. Let's see here. Just so you guys can see that. Because some of you guys might be wondering, how far away is B flat? Okay, this is perfect. So, we're in E flat now. Now we're going to want to take it down to B flat. So if you count that number of half steps, this is E flat. It's down 1 to D, 2 to D flat, 3 to C, 4 to B, 5 to B flat. So it's down 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm going to go over here. Let me delete that contact track because we didn't need it. And so now I'm going to go again. I'm going to select all of the pitch instruments. Make sure it got all of them. Let's shift and just go down just to make sure you select all of them. And now what I'm going to do is under here, let's see here. So I can always select, there's 2 different windows. So there's the audio effects window, but here I'm just going to tap here. And if I go over here, let's see here, I'm going to click warp. Now warp is very important because once the tempo is synced and everything like that, it's going to allow, Ableton is now going to allow you to change the pitch and all these different things. So when I select warp, nothing really happened. But now I'm going to go right ahead and click these pitch. Now I remember, just from what we just counted, it was down 5 steps. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's that 5 right here. Awesome. So now let's hear what that sounds like.
Intro. 2, 1, 2, 3. Intro.
Not bad, not bad. Oh Lord. as you can see, the voices.
Intro.
We'll select this one where the they're not letting. So with voices, I always try to change the warp to complex pro. So maybe we'll go without those for now. But as you can see, the other
Intro.
instruments don't sound so bad.
2, 1, 2, 3, chorus.
And we'll change these to complex. Let's listen to it.
Instrumental. 2, 1, 2, 3. Instrumental. Instrumental. 2, 1.
Okay, so that didn't sound so bad. These vocal tracks, I don't think we're going to be able to use those in this key. But these other ones, they sound pretty decent. So what we can do is we can go right ahead and use that. So go right ahead and let's make a demo track for that. So with the demo track, all we do, with the demo track, all we're going to do is just mute the click in the cues, and we'll just bounce it like so. So now that I'm going to bounce it, I can go over here. Let me just, again, select the whole thing. File, export, master. Just make sure that's 111, and this is something 132.0.0.0. Basically, that just means it started at the very beginning. We have a WAV file, and we're good to go. So we'll export that. Now we're going to put that inside of Ableton Sessions. We're going to make a folder for this, and we'll call this folder Holy Ground 72 BPM B flat. All right, so this is going to be a demo track. So we'll put this TWLA demo track. So while that's bouncing, we're going to basically just do this 3 times over. So we're going to do it once for the cues, a cue track, once for a click track, and well, we won't do a harmony rehearsal track because we don't have those files for that yet. But we should be able to get most of the stuff done just now. So this is literally when you're changing the key, this is the process that we have to go through just to make sure that our reference recordings are accurate. And so this would be the same thing if you're making any arrangement changes or anything like that. This is what you want to go through. All right, so we got that. So we have our demo track. We can check that really quickly by just creating a new Finder window. Let's go over to this really quickly. Let's see here, Ableton Sessions, Holy Ground, B flat. Let's take a quick listen to that. Awesome. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, so now we're going to add a cue track. So there's cues. So let's, with the cue track, we always try to pan the cues all the way to the left side. Just in case you ever get stuck in this other window, if you ever get to Ableton and you're in a window like this and you don't know what to do, you can click this little link on this side. So if you want to see the mixer view,
Intro. 2.
that's this one. It's parallel.
1.
Or
2.
they call this session
3.
view.
Intro.
Arrangement view, which is this way. I'm not going to do a big tutorial on Ableton, but the short version is, now that we want to hear the cues in it and make a cue track, you can do that, and then we do the same thing. File, just make sure all these things are correct. Export, and this one we'll call cue. And this is really important, so that way this is what the vocalists are going to use when they create harmony tracks. So they'll use this this format and this track. So that's why it's very important that when we bounce it, it's on the actual grid, that everything is synced with the tempos and the timing and all of those different things. So very important. And we're almost finished. So we have those 2 tracks. We have a cue track and a demo track. And so now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go right ahead and we'll take that, pan that back center, turn the click on. And now what we're going to do is select all of these tracks. We won't select the vocal tracks, but we'll select all of these. And now we're going to bounce them as individual stems. So in order to do that, you're going to go to, instead of exporting audio and video, master, you're going to go selected tracks only. And so that's why it's important to select it. So now you're telling it, I just want to see these tracks bounced. And so this is wave, all these things is the same. Export, and now you're going to make one folder, one more folder, holy ground stems, and then we go right ahead and put the tempo in there. 72 BPM, B flat, and then we're going to delete this because it's not a cue track. We'll just leave it like that. And what Ableton's going to do is it's going to add the names to these tracks. So we can go right ahead and just leave that there, press save, and it's going to go right ahead and render those. Now what it's going to do now is it's going to be basically go ahead and create all of those stem tracks. So that's great for us. So while that's doing that, let's see here. We'll go right ahead and click on Holy Ground. So while that's uploading, we can already now go back into here under Holy Ground and begin to add these resources back to Dropbox. So now let's upload these files. So let's see here, go to Documents, Ableton Sessions, Holy Ground. And we've already got some files. Now let's see if this is let's see, we already have a cue track and a demo track. So we can go right ahead and upload those here. Now the great thing is once you upload it one time to Dropbox, it becomes a lot easier to upload it everywhere else. So the same thing here, we're going to go into Planning Center. This time we're going to go into Song, and we're going to go to Edit Song, and we're going to do the same thing. So now that we're here in this key of B flat, we're going to go to Files, and we're going to add these files. Just drag and drop our browse, same thing. Click here. We're going to upload those. Oops, I messed up. One thing we forgot to do here. Let's see here. Let's refresh this page. We almost forgot. It's a good thing that I have you guys all on here. So now these are uploading as WAV files. Let's see if it finished. Oh, yep. Okay. So those are all finished. So now we have to do, before we upload them, notice these files are all 77 megabytes. There's pretty big files. So we're going to select all of those. Let's unselect this folder name. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click. Now you can only do this on a Mac. We're going to say encode audio, because now we don't want to upload it as a WAV file. We want to upload it as an MP4. Now notice how much smaller MP4s take up on your hard drive. So instead of 77 megabytes, you're only going to take up 7 megabytes per file. And as you can see, it's much, much smaller. And it actually does this pretty quickly. So all of these different things, this is what we basically go right ahead and do as we're changing the key. I almost forgot, and I was wondering why did it take so long when it was as a WAV file. But usually when you upload it like this as an MP4 or M4A, M4 audio, as you can see, it's almost finished. It usually only takes maybe a minute or so, and it's good to go. Awesome. So now we've got all of those ready to go. And so now we can go back over to Safari. And now let's upload those tracks one more time. Look at that, and it uploads in seconds. And now those are ready to go. And then the same thing under here. We can go to Add, Browse. Let's drop those same files in there. And they're good to go. Now the thing is, you're going to want to tell it this is in the key of B flat. Those are done, and now they're there. Awesome. So you're good to go. You're good to go. And then what I might like to do is, just because I do notice this is in B flat, this is bothering me. It's supposed to be and lyrics. Now we don't have all of the rehearsal track, harmony rehearsal tracks yet, but we have most of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Let's see here. This is just for my sake. I'm going to copy this over to the song library. We'll just copy it over there. And we'll go into song library. Now it's good to do this, and now we have obviously the stems, so we'll go right ahead and do the same thing. Upload the folder, stems folder. We'll begin that uploading. So it's always good to do these things right away. So now as we go over to song library, see how it says Holy Ground, but it has a 3. We'll delete the number for that. We'll go right ahead and save it like this. So now it's here in 2 keys. The last thing we'll do, and this will be the end of your tutorial for today. Thank you guys for sitting in. I know this was a little bit of a doozy. So we'll go right ahead and we're going to create a folder, ground 72 BPM. And we're not going to put a key on the end of this one. So now, as we go down here, see how this is in 2 keys? Now we could take these and just drop this into the Holy Ground folder. And so now, just under Holy Ground, there's 2 key options there. And this key under B flat will have the tracks, and then as we get harmony rehearsal tracks, we'll drop those in there as well. So that's pretty much it. Same thing over here. Usually with the stems, we might leave them out the way that they are. Same thing, so we have Holy Ground in 2 different keys. The only thing this needs is a zip file, so we'll go under, let's see if we can find that one more time here. So what we like to do is make sure we upload a compressed version of that as well. Make sure that we drop that in here. And you're good to go. So this will only take probably about 30 seconds or so to upload. So that's the short version and the short compressed version of how. So now that we shifted the key, and so we still are going to have to add vocal tracks, but now that we in the different locations, if I refresh my Sunday service one more time, it'll go down and I actually have everything in the keys of B flat. And so if I click on B flat, I can see the actual tracks in those keys. So a vocalist or one of the vocal directors can download this to create harmony rehearsal tracks as well. So we have a lot of different things that are basically ready to go. And we have our stems. We have stems in B flat if we want to make edits with those. So we're good to go. So once again, thank you guys for sitting in. This one was a little longer, but it was a little bit more detailed as well. So thank you guys. Hopefully that helped. All right.